God, I have 5 minutes and I want to thank. It's difficult to leave emotion out of it, but we have an obligation not to be emotional and to deal with the facts. And on the 2nd of August next month, Shane O'Farrell, he died 13 years ago on the 2nd of August, and the family have been fighting since then for justice. And that burden should not be on the family shoulders. They should have been able to grieve for the loss of their beautiful son, who had graduated with the first in a master's, and they should have been able at some stage to try and get on with their life. Justice having been done and seen to be done, and that's not what happened, Minister, unfortunately. And what we have here is a detailed motion from Sinn Féin, and they've laid out the facts as best they can, and I thank them for that, and given us an opportunity once again to speak on this debate, on this issue. I absolutely disagree with Deputy Danny Healy-Rae. This is not about anyone's nationality. This is about multiple failures on the part of state agencies, multiple mistakes, failures, whatever we'd like to call them, which just intensified and complicated the whole matter. On January the 11th, when the Gradusca appeared in Monaghan Circuit Court on theft charges, Judge O'Hagan adjourned the case for 1 year, and he continued on bail on condition that he stayed out of trouble. And the judge went into detail on that, saying he was giving him one chance only, but to get back to him any part, any time, if he put a foot wrong. That was January 11. I'm giving him this chance and this chance only. I can assure you, if you mess this one up, you're going to prison. And he gave an open call to everyone, including the guards in particular, to come forward. Between January of that year and the 2nd of August, that man committed 11 offences. And on no occasion did the guards return him as Judge O'Hagan had clearly set out. If they had, of course, and if the whole story had come out about those offences and the previous offences and the offences he came to the country with, he certainly would not have been at liberty if we were to take Judge O'Hagan at his word. An hour before Shane O'Farrell was killed by a hit-and-run driver, Gradusca, an hour before that, the car in which he was driving, or was a passenger, was stopped by the guard, the drug squad. The driver was not insured. There was no valid NCT, and the car was in a dangerous condition. And what did the guards do? They asked the other man, I think, or an agreement was made, or the other driver, Gradusca, got in into the driver's seat and drove on. Just listen to what I read out. Not insured, no valid NCT, and so on, dangerous condition, and the car goes on. And an hour later, it's a hit and run. He runs down young Shane O'Farrell. He pleaded guilty to a hit-and-run charge, and he received a suspended 8-month sentence on condition he returned to Lithuania. Then we had a complaint to GSOC. That took 7 years, and they were most unhappy with that report, and I can see why. Already, we've referred to the two motions on June the 12th of June 2018, and again February, and again tonight, to have an independent sworn inquiry. And it would appear that you're agreeing to that, Minister, and that's to be welcomed if you're agreeing to it. And you're not putting it an amendment, and you're agreeing to it. I'm going to take your word on that, actually. I'm going to, for the moment. So the question is, why have the government not acted on foot of two motions? Rather than do that, of course, we set up a scoping inquiry that took another 4 years. This is on top of an independent review mechanism that was also extremely faulty. I haven't the time to go into all of the faults, and I'm just trying to make an overall point. And the conclusion that no further report was necessary is truly astounding. It's truly astounding, given that it was a scoping exercise, not a fact-finding mission, not a blaming mission, but that report blamed Shane O'Farrell. Blamed him for having no light on his bike. No witnesses, of course, to the accident. And blame all around in a blaming narrative, and no further inquiry necessary. That in itself is astounding and merits further investigation. So here we are tonight, begging you, appealing to you to stop this. This is not fair on the family. And equally importantly, it is not good for democracy that this has parallels with the McCabe case. A lot of parallels with the McCabe case. So Instead of burying our heads in the sand, let's stand together so that we can all learn, most of all, that the family will be relieved of this horrible burden, but democracy will be better for it with a full sworn inquiry.